Hey everybody, AC here, and welcome back to another episode of Man-Gust, Volume 3. This time, we're talking about number 18, Rave Master. Now, for those of you who don't know what Rave Master is, I've already talked about it on this channel a few times. I've talked about how it has an anime adaptation that is just one of my most hated anime adaptations ever, because it is just terrible. It just bastardizes the original series so much. So I hate it. I don't like it. I do my best not to acknowledge it whenever possible. And I've also talked at length about my love for the Rave Master manga. So I'm gonna try to not talk as much about it. If you want to know what it's about, I am sure I talked about it at length in my other two mangusts. So I'm not going to repeat myself here. But yeah, the anime was god awful, and it needs an anime adaptation, and it just sucks that so many people don't even know what it is. I talk about no joke. I go to conventions like 3 times a year. I go to like 3 different conventions every single year, and every single time I go there, I ask at least 3 dozen people. Sometimes I'll go up to like 100, but like I will ask at the bare minimum like 3 dozen people if they know what Rave Master is. And I have only come across one person that knows what Rave Master is. Nobody else had ever even heard of it. And I tell them that it's from Hiro Mashima. And they say, "Oh, the fairy tale guy." And so I end up having to explain to them that everything in Fairy Tail was copy and pasted from Rave Master. That is his only original, fully original work. Because ever since then, Hiro Mashima has just taken either the plot points of the previous series and pasted them into whatever new series he's working on, or he's taken the character designs and just copied them and pasted them into this new series, or both, as was the case with Rave Master. He took all of the character designs and all of the major plot points and pasted them over into Fairy Tail with very few minor tweaks. There are very few minor tweaks to make it distinct enough. But if you read both series back to back, it is very clear which one was. It is very clear that Rave Master is what inspired Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail is inspired by Rave Master. It's very clear which one is original and which one's a copycat. Hiro Mashima has made a lot of different mangas over the years. Some of them have lasted for quite a while. Like Rave Master, Fairy Tail, Eden Zero, and some of them have been a lot shorter. Some of them have been a lot shorter. Like the Monster Hunter series he did, as well as the Hero Park. I think that's what Hero Playground. That's what it was. Both of those were really short. He ended them the way he wanted, and then there's also like mangas that he attempted to make but got canceled, like Monster Soul. And then there's a couple others that got canceled that I can't quite remember the names of. But he's made like a dozen different mangas, and basically every single one of them looks like Rave Master. He hasn't really had a single original idea in terms of character design since Rave Master. every single main character looks like a Haru Glory variant. That's basically what they look like. They look like a Haru Glory variant. And that's the name of the main character in Rave Master. I love Rave Master. It is my all-time favorite manga. That will never change. I have read a lot of good mangas. Rave Master is my all-time favorite. Nothing is ever going to change that. And it's also the series that opened the gateway for manga for me. The first manga I ever read, the first manga volume I ever read, was Yu-Gi-Oh! Millennium World Volume 1. That was the first manga volume I ever read. And I read it the complete wrong way for like a whole year before I finally put together that I was supposed to read it from back cover to I was supposed to read it backwards. I was supposed to read it differently than I read American books. It took me several months to realize that, and even then, when I finally did, I still wasn't doing it right. Because I still was basically just I was still reading it from left to right instead of right to left, but I was turning the pages right to left. But I was still reading it left to right, so I was still doing it wrong. And then it took me like several more months after that before it finally sunk in how I was supposed to read it. And the thing that made me realize how I was supposed to read it was Rave Master Volume 1. That was the first manga book that I read correctly. So, but yeah, I love the series, and it absolutely 100% deserves a proper anime adaptation. Will it ever get it? Probably not. But I love this series so much, and I would pay money. I would pay so much money to see a proper anime adaptation be made of it. It was 35 volumes long. And the first anime series, which ran for 52 episodes, covered the first 12 volumes of the series very poorly. It covered it very poorly, but covered it. It was the way it covered it was garbage, absolute dog shit. But I do believe that if done correctly, it could be probably close to that. Like I bet like 2 24-episode seasons would be enough. 2 24-episode seasons, 48 episodes would be enough to cover the first 12 volumes, I believe. And that'd be basically the first third of the series. That would essentially be the first third of the series. So we could be looking at like close to 150 episodes, near 150 episodes, if a proper anime adaptation was ever made of this. So what one can hope. One can only hope. But anyway, that's all I got. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.